Sure. There you go. Approval of minutes.
Yeah. I can do that on my iPad. So, first order of business, approving the minutes from last month.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, any comments? Adjustments, additions, subtractions? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Do we have anybody?
Public comments.
Public comments. I was just gonna say, anybody on, do we have any public comments?
No, we don't.
Okay, I guess Pam couldn't get in.
Who couldn't get in?
Pam Green.
Oh, okay.
I don't see anybody trying to get in right now.
Okay, all right.
Julie just emailed me and said that she couldn't see on the town website where to join. She said she didn't see the meeting on the town calendar. So I don't know. I guess she won't be joining us.
Oh, okay.
Can we send her the link?
Hey,
Well,
Holly.
there's always the public link on the town main website, I guess.
I think that's what she's looking for.
Okay. Was that Jim Hennenberry I just saw?
Yeah.
Yep.
There he is.
Hello.
Hello, Jim.
Hey, Scott.
Can I just forward her the link? Is she still on your text thread, Kristen?
Yeah, no, she emailed me. I might be able to text her. I think I have her cell, but I don't think you can forward your link. Danielle, you can't forward someone the one we got by email, right?
No, they're personal links.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Okay, I guess we'll just wait and see what happens with her. Next thing, I guess, is chairman's comments. I don't really have anything. I know that, and one thing I do want to say, Scott, I think the guys did a terrific job with the well house.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah.
Fast.
He lagged that into the cement, and we had to deconstruct in order to move.
I saw
So-
one of the corners of the cement had actually cracked out, broken out.
Yeah. Yep.
But they did a good job, a terrific job on fixing that.
Thanks. I'll let
Yeah.
them know.
Thank you. Please do. Seeing as I never get to see them down there anymore.
I don't get to see a lot of them either. So
Okay. Well, that's all I have under under chairman's comments. What's next?
Section reports.
All right.
volunteer coordinators report.
Volunteer coordinator. Do we even have one yet?
I don't know.
I'm sort of the volunteer coordinator, but I don't have anything to report.
Okay.
Okay.
Buildings and grounds.
Moving right along.
Ted, you really have to find the agenda.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, as far as buildings and grounds, I can take it up later, but we did, we finally received approval for the STEEP grant for the walkway between high school and Bauer.
Yes.
So now I have to, I'm going to be walking the area with Mike Harkin, engineering, to get a design so we can move forward. I had hoped, and it didn't happen, but by obtaining the grant, we have to go to prevailing wage. I was gonna try to do it in-house with my guys, but now I'm gonna have to go out to bid. So it's gonna take some time. But it'll be a simple boardwalk design all the way through. Pretty much following the same path to the high school. But I just have to get engineering support.
Okay, with town engineering?
Well, no, I mean, they're overloaded. That's why I'm hiring Harkin Engineering.
Okay, they're gonna
So-
engineer the whole
Yeah,
thing.
so it's an added cost, but it'll end up coming off the project.
Oh, well.
So, I mean, it is what it is, and I think we still have town CIP money that I can tack into, because we were planning on grant money anyway.
Yep.
So we'll see where we land. But again, it's going to be a simple design, no similar to Garvin walkway. If
Okay,
everybody's gone through that, it's low, no railings. It's got a curb on it, so nobody can, if they were on in a wheelchair or whatever, there's a curb, so they'd know where the edge is. So we'll see where we go.
okay. All right. Anything else on buildings and grounds?
The only other additional is, well, it's down further, so I'll wait.
Okay.
But you don't have the agenda, so you don't know where it is.
Well, actually, I have an old agenda, so that's good.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
I'll hold off.
All I can add is that the park got used a lot with all the snow. There were snowshoers and cross-country skiers and tons of people hiking. So it was pretty neat to see so many people out.
We had it up in Rockland too, so
Yeah.
everybody's venturing out, which is great.
All right. Hey, a while back, I saw something where I guess there was on a police report or something, there was somebody that was out there at night or something. Where anything happened with that?
We did have a student doing a dark movie.
Okay.
That may have been it. And he had notified police department. Yeah, we made sure that, hey, we're doing this dark kind of movie and warning public. But
All right.
yeah, because there was leftover furniture, etc., and that was part of this movie set.
All right.
Yep.
Good.
Yeah, it's all fun.
Okay. Anything else on buildings and grounds?
Um,
Oh,
we did get the town did an overall building study on all the facilities, and I have the report. I don't necessarily agree with a lot of it. Was indicating deficiencies in the barn as far as the power supply, that the system was outdated, and I really don't agree with it. And we know it was auxiliary lighting for a museum, and they were saying that lights didn't work. Well, maybe the bulbs blew out, but I know the lighting and everything that we designed was operating as what we expected. So I just got to revisit that, because I know Mark Voss installed everything and it goes back to the house. And they were saying that the power panels were outdated, etc. But I'll revisit that and see what happens.
I can hardly believe they were outdated because that was.
I know.
That
I
was
know.
so long ago. And I know that some of the things he put in extra switches and whatever for
Yep.
future.
Yep.
You know,
I don't know if they, I don't even know, in all honesty, Ted, I don't know if they saw the second. I think they looked at the one panel, but I don't know if they even saw the second panel.
the one in the barn.
Yeah, well, both of them are in the barn. We have two
Right.
panels in the barn,
Right.
you know, so I just can't, I don't understand where they're coming from when I was reading the report. So I'm still visiting it.
Okay. All right.
And they also mentioned bats. You know, suggesting more bat houses and try to get them out of the barn. It's like, okay,
Okay.
it is what it is.
Scott, who are they? Who did this? Who did the evaluation?
It was a firm that the town hired.
Oh, okay. It wasn't the town then. It was
No, it was an outside firm. It was an
Okay.
outside firm and they went through the house. They went through all the surf club buildings, town gym, town campus, everything.
Okay.
For a major town facility study. So,
All right.
Interesting.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right. One other thing with the buildings and grounds, Scott, this is with that large oak tree that came down in the outdoor classroom.
Yeah, we'll be taking the limb down, but we have Charlie Islin analyzing the other
Yep.
part. We think it's got to come down completely. So
Right. And a couple of the people on the committee mentioned that maybe we could get a couple pieces of the wood.
I don't know where we're going to store it, and when would it be used? You know, and how is it going to be used? That we have to figure out.
Right.
Because we also have to analyze the tree by the well.
Yes. I know.
To make sure that doesn't come down again, so we rebuild that, or it goes into the house.
Right.
So I
Okay.
mean, they're aging and not aging well. So
I think that especially the one by the well might be something that we could use as for a tree if somebody wants to donate one in that area.
right, a new one. Yep. Further away from the parking lot and the house.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, but if there's something that we can do to save some lengths, I think we can do it. But I just don't. I guard against it just sitting there.
Right.
And then, okay, somebody wants to use it. Now, how do we use it? It's just another added cost. So, especially if we want to get it milled.
Okay. If that's it. Buildings and grounds and public relations and publicity. I don't think that there's anything going on about that. Gardens report.
Barbara and Holly have worked together, and Barbara has all the mailings ready to go out in the mail for garden plot renewals. So I think we're on track.
I still have to get her the last bit. I told her I'd get it to her by the end of the week. I've got the to tie in with the people who hadn't cleaned out their plots.
Okay,
So I'm almost done with that.
cool. Yeah, once we get that, we'll be ready to send everything out.
Are your guys, when they cleaned everything in the fall, before rototilling, they kind of cleaned some plots and skipped others? That hadn't been, are they gonna
Well,
revisit
the
them?
plots that we did were all cleaned out.
No, there were some that are on my list that hadn't been cleaned out, and they
They
must
went
have
through
taken
'em?
stuff out. And then there's
Okay.
some that they left the stuff in.
Hmm.
So I wasn't sure if they were gonna revisit those few that they skipped.
I think we'll end up going back. I think we did have a mechanical breakdown of the tractor.
Okay,
It blew a hydraulic line. When we were rototilling and we pulled it out. We had to pull it out in order to fix it. So, I'm sure we'll be back in the spring.
but
to
what
do
about
it.
like, there's a plot that still has a tarp in it, there's another plot where somebody left some signs.
Then we should get letters out to them to say, get the stuff out.
Well, we don't usually give people a second chance. I was just thinking I could reach out to anyone on the list that hadn't done their hours that usually does them. And I
Okay.
could say, hey, in March, if you get these cleared out, you'll be counted.
Okay.
Do it that way.
Yeah, that works.
Okay. There's not much left there. The guys cleaned up probably 2/3 of the plots that
Yeah.
had things in them.
I just don't like in honesty, I just don't like the idea of other people picking up the slack of those that didn't do what they were supposed to do.
That's what we do usually at Thanksgiving weekend.
Yeah, I know.
So,
I hear you.
and that's why I'm totally adamant that if you didn't clean your plot, you don't get a plot back.
Right.
So
Yep.
I know Barbara's always like, well, what do you want to do? This is what they've said, and I'm like, Barbara, you're too nice. Just tell them I said no.
There we go. Yeah, once we get that list, Holly, we'll deal with it
Okay.
as best we can, so.
All right, anything else under gardens? Not education report, and I guess Kristen, Julie hasn't signed in, so I don't know if she gave you anything.
No, she didn't.
Okay,
Programs are going. Julie's been running a couple of programs and we're taking new registrations for marine biology and another one that's coming up. So people are registering, so it's a positive. We're trying to keep going, so.
Are they doing the maple sugaring? I didn't see that anywhere.
You would have to ask that, Holly.
I am.
I would imagine we would be, but it may not be on the radar right now. I can check with Carrie.
I can always look it up. I see flyers about it, and I just hadn't seen anything.
Right.
All right. The next thing I have on here is a garden club, but Holly, I don't have their email address to send them the things. You have it?
Yeah, I emailed it to you tonight. I apologize. I didn't notice that I had forgotten to do that until I was looking at my notes before logging on. So it's in your email.
Okay. All right, then I can send them that, and then so we can see if we can get them on the meetings. Any old business? Not. The next thing I had was the Harvest Festival, but it's like I say, I think we have time because we don't know what's going to happen. And Scott, I'm sure the town won't be really interested in setting up much for a while due to the COVID.
Well, the governor's orders, the executive orders end in April 9th, I think. So things are going to start opening up. But I really don't know how much they're going to open up to public events. So it's a question mark.
Okay, let's
Maybe.
go. Just
And
kind of where I am.
unfortunately, I have no idea if things are gonna back spiral or not for the large scale events.
Yeah, I would be very uncomfortable at this point to have something, unless things change.
I mean, so
Right.
much of it too is, as the vaccine rolls out and if things keep going well with the vaccine, summer could be a totally different picture for everybody.
Exactly.
We just don't know until we see how it plays out in the next 2 months.
Right.
Right, yep. So that's why I think we just kind of put it on hold right now and see what happens.
Right. And one of the other thing is, like, I think right now it's 16 and up that it's scaling back to. Well, what about the kids?
Right.
Exactly,
This is a big kid event, and
exactly.
But in
know.
theory, I mean, the whole point too is if we're all vaccinated and we're not spreading it, then the kids aren't getting it. It's like influenza right now.
sure.
Have you seen the numbers? I've
Nobody's
never
getting
seen the
it.
map stay green with low impact for the whole country. There's no influenza. Why?
Right.
Because we're all trying not to get COVID.
Right,
So,
right.
so in theory, if we're all staying healthy throughout the summer because we're getting vaccinated and still doing our due diligence.
Doing proper things.
Yeah. I mean, like the kids getting sick in school right now, they're getting sick because their parents are taking them to places and the adults are exposed.
Right.
And so the kids are getting it and then bringing it to school.
True.
Yep.
So,
All right. House update. I bet you,
You-
Scott, that's what you were gonna
But
talk about.
did you found your agenda?
I found an old one. I'm going from that.
Oh, okay. As far as the house goes, I have submitted, I did up a bid. And I'm having Vinny Garofalo, the building inspector, go through it. And it was mirrored with the Gulick and Spradlin report.
Yep.
Trying to say, okay, this is the scope of work. This is what we want done, A, B, C, and D. And I said, I asked him if he could please look at it to see if I was in the right direction before we go out to bid. So, I mean, it's basically a remodel. The main house, outside to in, where they Gulick had recommended that we take of the existing old structure, not including the addition. All right, so it goes to the kitchen area.
Yep.
That's the main house. Everything on that, the outside comes off. We would take off the clapboard and expose all the studs. We would redo the electric, run HVAC, insulate, sheathe the building with plywood, and then re-clappered. And it would be new clapboarding. And then we build out the windows to match because of the added plywood. So we'd have to extend the jambs. We keep the windows as they are with interior storms.
Okay.
All new electrical, the plumbing and heating would all be redone. As much as we can with the exterior exposed and with the new clapperting. And let's see, handicap access at the porch.
Yep.
The
The side porch.
the side porch going into the main into the kitchen area.
Yep.
That would have a lift
Really?
for wheelchair access. But the access would be main floor only. All the interior jams would be widened so somebody in a wheelchair could go all the way around on the first floor. And the second floor would be a virtual tour.
Right. Right.
Which we had talked about. But it's just getting the cost. I have the scope of work and he's looking at it so we could go out to bid. We do have money in CNRE, and once I get that figure, I can go to hopefully get some historic restoration funds to match it. And hopefully it'll get done.
All right. Do you think that Travis would bid on it, and that with his, it doesn't look like his thing in Guilford is?
Yeah, he was gonna be working with me to redo it, and he said we would not be bidding on it.
Really?
Yeah, so I mean that's why I'm trying to develop this RFP and see what we can get. Maybe East Guilford Restoration will do it.
Yeah, they're pretty good, I understand.
Yeah, I mean, we'll get, I think we'll get some. Right now, the climate is good for work.
Yep.
So hopefully we can get some takers. I know with Salt Meadow, I have the pavilion and I put that out to bid, and we obtained a lot of interest. We'll see what comes for the bids, but there's a lot of companies out there that are hungry
Okay.
and wanting work. So we'll see.
Okay. Sounds good. Any new business? Any other business?
Just out of curiosity, is there any movement on the dog park for over at Salt Meadow?
Yes, we finally got, well, Holly, thank you very much for that. I had gone to land use, and John DeLaura had reached out to the state, and we didn't hear back. And then John Michael Parker got in, and he kind of wiggled some trees, and Deep actually reached out and saying it's quite possible that we can work a dog park into Salt Meadow with the area that was quit claimed by the state. I returned the guy's call and I haven't heard back from him yet. So in all honesty, it'll probably be over at Salt Meadow on the left side of the entranceway by the solar panels.
Yeah.
But it looks like it's going to be an acceptable use of the land. So
Great, so we're not looking at it showing back up in our laps.
no, it
Yeah.
won't come back to
Yeah.
Bauer.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, anybody have any other business?
We do have, just so you know, I have, I think it's tonight and tomorrow, there's gonna be a car hauler parked at the park. People are moving from, I want to say 17 Cops Road, and there's no room in their driveway. They're actually moving to Texas. I asked them why, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
So I alerted the police department that that's happening. And then Friday night, I believe, we have our first use of the fire pit
Oh, really?
by the pavilion.
You mean the first, like actually sanctioned use?
Yep. Yep. Exactly. Yep. I guess it's a birthday party. So they're going to be using the fire pit, and we have rules and regulations where they have to douse it and then put the ashes in a it's going to be a galvanized garbage can with a lid. So they have to enter it. So that's going to be happening on Friday night. So
is somebody cleaning it out for them beforehand?
it'll be done prior to their arrival. Yes. I mean, we had the winter solstice, and that's probably what's left.
Oh, right. So yeah, well, there were a lot of beer cans there the last time.
Great. Good to know. Well, what we'll try to do is we have a permit process similar to the camping up at Rockland. And what I'll try to do is if we have a permit that's out, I'll try to let everybody know, especially you, Holly, because you're right there.
Yeah.
And if it's something else, then it's not sanctioned.
Okay.
All right. And that's
something,
when you call the fire department or the police department.
that's what I was about to say. So if
Yep.
I don't see it from my house like I do when people are out at the garden.
Yep.
When people are at the garden and they're driving around at night in the back field, it's obvious, but I don't see the house area very well from my house.
Okay.
But sometimes I drive by, and that's the sort of thing where, yeah, it would be nice to know whether I should.
Right. And we'll let similar to the camping area, Rockland, if we do have a permit out, we'll let the police department know. So if they're driving by and they see something and they check and say, yeah, no, there's no permit, they'll go and stop it. So
Good. That's good. All right. Is that it? If so,
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
we have a motion. We have a second.
I second.
Jim seconds. All in favor?